All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the month. It's the Pocket Change Market Report Graded Edition. This time coming the very final day of the month of September 2022. Hope you all are doing real well. So, why, Sean, BlueRidgeSilverhound, do you do this? Well, due to popular demand, that's what people want to see. They want to know what kind of errors and varieties are worth grading, because you guys should know me by now. I always pitch, do not grade these minor errors and varieties. They sell themselves. And, and it's just important to save money, especially if you're going to turn this into a business. Excuse me, by the way. Allergies are kicking my butt already coming into fall here. But getting back into this, the graded market for errors and varieties is really stacked at the top. And there are a lot of folks that deem it necessary to grade these coins when they know full well that they're going to turn around and resell them. And they get just simply blown away by how much they don't make because they're sending the wrong coins out. So we're going to take a look at a pretty nice little list of about 17 coins that all sold within the last like 10 to 14 days. This will give you guys a little bit of perspective, a little insight on what is grade worthy for the secondary market. And you're going to find that going through the list, well, there's some pretty impressive stuff in here. And, you know, it's certainly going to help the cause when you go to resell it, especially in a graded holder. These major errors sometimes can be really difficult to explain, and that's where a graded slab and its label information certainly do come in handy. So keep that in mind. Again, all the minor stuff, just don't even consider sending those out. It just doesn't make any sense unless you are intending on keeping it yourself. Maybe a loved one had passed it down to you. Then that, you know, in a way makes a lot of sense. All right, let's go ahead and check this nice little list. So thank you guys again for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And check out this 1996 P Roosevelt Dime. So we got a few things happening here. The dime itself is broad struck, number one. All right, so that in itself, it doesn't really carry a lot of the value. But that secondary, what looks to be an off-center strike, certainly does. And what that is it's a 25% off-center brockage. All right, brockages are quite desirable in the error community, and they typically sell for a pretty good amount of money. So this being a dual error of sorts certainly does make sense. And there's going to be a lot of people that don't know what that secondary strike is on there. So on this one, you can see on the PCGS label, it's a mid-state 65. Sure, that's important. The grade can come kind of second place on errors especially. I've also seen some details like cleaned or damaged coins still sell for a pretty good amount of money for a very major error. So you're going to notice 25% brockage obverse and BS, which, no, it's not that word. It's broad struck, and that's what they use on there. This particular coin ended up selling with shipping for $270. Again, these are all completed realized sales from the last 10 days. The next one that we have here, oh boy, this one is pretty cool. This is a 1950 Washington quarter that was struck on a silver dime planchet. So, yeah, the coin is considerably smaller. It weighs as much as a regular silver dime would. And the coins that are struck on the wrong planchets, you know, on the much more modern examples, you could sell it the way it is and do just fine. But when you get into the much older coins like this one here, it's certainly more important to send this off to grading because the values go up tremendously on these much older dates. So this one right here ended up as a mid-state 64 in PCGS plastic, and it shows struck on 10-cent planchet. There are folks that have asked me, how much does it cost to grade an error coin? It's quite stiff. It's like $65. That's including the submission and the error attribution. And then there are other things that you could supplement on there, true views and things like that. that will greatly increase the submission cost for one coin. So again, it has to be worth it. This one was worth it. It ended up selling for $1,500. I think this was either yesterday or the day before is when this one sold. But a mighty impressive coin that's sold by Star 505. I don't think I've covered Star before. I might have. I just don't remember because I see a lot of folks on eBay that have sold errors and varieties. The next one that we have here, ooh, man, this one can be a little bit difficult to explain. So it's obviously a copper-coated zinc Lincoln cent, that what we're working with here. It looks to be a 1999 is what's showing on the listing, and I could actually see a partial there on the obverse. So this one is quite interesting. I would imagine that this coin was probably discovered in a mid-sewn bag. That's where a lot of these pretty wild errors were originally found prior to the year like 2005, I believe, is when they stopped using canvas mint bags from the Federal Reserve Bank. But in any event, this is quite a interesting looking coin. So the coin is a huge broad strike, and it's got counter brockage, is what that is. Really, really cool. They actually graded this one Mid-State 66 red through PCGS, and again, you see the date 1999. This was an older grading, probably from about 10 to 15 years ago, just judging off of the label design and the text. There you go. So this one was accepted for a best offer of $230. My kind of floor that I like to work with when it comes to grading coins, the coin has to be worth at least $250. So this one was 20 bucks shy from hitting that mark. It was actually accepted at $225, and then they're shipping for $5. 250 is kind of like that threshold that I want to see and aim for when I go to grade coins. If it doesn't fit that profile or it won't get there, I will not submit it at all. So something to kind of keep in mind. Put that in your list of things to consider when you're grading coins. If they don't meet a certain pricing criteria, don't grade them at all, because you will end up either making very little bit of money or you will lose money. Another really cool one here. We have a 1981D Lincoln Memorial Cent that was struck on a 10-cent copper nickel clad planchet. So this planchet was intended for Roosevelt dimes, not Lincoln cents. So again, this one was probably discovered in a mid-sewn bag. Again, a vast majority of these wild errors were discovered in there in that way. Hard to miss this one. It's got that silvery color to it. I would imagine the edge will show that that inner core of copper, as you would expect with any copper nickel clad generation of coin. This particular example was a PCGS Mid-State 63, and you can see struck on 10-cent planchet right on there as well. The coin is slightly smaller, but not by much. The coins theoretically are very close in size when you stack one on top of each other. This one right here sold for a blistering $393 by Tech One, who is one of the sellers we've highlighted in the PCMR graded edition quite a few times. The seller has a ton of really impressive coins, and it shows. Here's another banger that ended up selling here within the last few days. Well, this is neither an error or a variety, but keep in mind, impressive original toned coins, there is no hurt in grading these. The only way that you'll know that it is a original toning is to send it to either PCGS or NGC. My personal pick probably would have been NGC just based on cost. Albeit today, there's no guarantee that you'll get the NGC coin back any sooner because they're having delays as well. But this one right here is quite impressive. Toning, in a nutshell, adds a considerable margin of premium to any silver coin, and even some coppers as well. This is a 53S, Mid-State 67 Plus full split bands. That's what the FB is on there. So it's got a really nice heavy strike on the reverse. I mean, this is not a rare date by any stretch, but the toning really does add an extra element to this. So a best offer was accepted to the tune of $844. Actually, it was $835 plus the $9 shipping. This one was sold by Sony Dre. I hope I got that right. First time highlighting this particular seller, but that is nonetheless a beautiful, beautiful coin. Light yellow plus rich golden brown color. I find it very attractive. But the toning market is pretty big right now, so that explains why this one hit the kind of money it did, along with a very nice grade. All right, well, obsolete older coins with these type of errors. Again, another good example of something that you can send to the graders and feel confident that you've made the right decision. This is an 1887 S Seated Liberty dime. It's off center by about 10%. Is what we're looking at here. The coin is not a beauty queen by any means, and that's fine. The error plays a much bigger important role in the value of this coin rather than just grade. The grade itself is just okay for what it is, and this one right here came back as VF35. Thank goodness it came back straight graded, and it didn't have any other problems or anything like that they would note. But there you go, struck 10% off center. Again, any obsolete coin, from probably the year 1900 and older, I would, without a shadow of a doubt, send them to any one of the big grading companies. You can even probably throw in Annex in there too, if you're looking to save a few bucks. But all in all, this is just a really nice, really nice coin. I'm a huge fan of these obsolete errors. This one right here sold for $850. And again, one of my favorite sellers. Certified City Net was the seller on this one. Again, we've highlighted a good number of their items here in the past few months. So they're one of the more reliable sellers on eBay for such items. Now, this one right here is kind of like a shot in the dark. I'm like, oh, it's a 1964D Roosevelt Dime. I mean, sure, it's 90% silver, but what in the world is this thing doing here? Well, these close-ups help indicate grade. I mean, the coin is in pretty nice shape. It looks like it was minted yesterday. It's very, very minty fresh, very nice mid-state condition here. Pretty notable variety on this one. This is the doubled die reverse FS802. If you didn't quite catch the overall diagnostics of the doubled die, it's actually really nice. I own a few of these myself that I've cherry picked out of bulk silver dime lots. However, this particular coin right here is a really nice high grade mid-state 66. For folks that collect by registry set, or they collect by variety and they want the highest grade possible of every type, this is the big reason why that this one even made it on the list. So this one, in case you guys are curious as to what the doubling looks like, you could always go onto a site like varietyvista.com or doubleddie.com. They'll have much better close-ups of the doubled die for you. This one right here was bid up through a number of days, sold on September 23rd for $335 with 24 bids, sold by John Pitt Coin Auctions. I think that's the first time that I've highlighted their particular name on this video, but there you go. Yeah, another good one. I would say that most of the cherry pickers guide varieties, and that's any coin with an FS catalog number, as long as it's like a really nice grade or a rarity, send it off. There's no harm, and again, these are very widely collected. Again, anything cherry pickers guide is. Here's a 1944D. Again, a really impressive variety. A lot of people really aren't aware of this particular coin. It's a very high minted coin, and a lot of these are still in mint state condition. You could go to a coin shop at any given time and find a number of these for under $1. Sometimes you can even find them for a lot cheaper than that. But this is the variety to be on the lookout for. Again, another well-known doubled die that can be found on the Cherry Picker's Guide. This is a DDO. It's got that fat bottom tail of the 9 in the date. It's pretty hard to miss. Impressive grade, mid-state 66 plus, full red. It is, of course, FS101 as well. The coin ended up selling by the same seller as the previous coin for $611 with 41 bids. As you can see, PCGS only one graded in a 66 plus, only one higher. So I would imagine that's probably a 67. But registry sets do care about coins like this, especially the ones that integrate in Cherry Picker's Guide varieties. They'll want this in there. Not every Lincoln Cent registry does varieties, but there are a number of them out there that still do. And this is another target coin to add to the bunch. All right, so this one right here, a little word to the wise. If it looks too regular or too circulated, you might want to think again. This is a coin that I'm sure a lot of folks have passed over in coin roll hunts, but you might want to pay closer attention after we're done talking about the 1972D Kennedy half dollar. Yeah, there's one really notable variety here to know about, and it is the rarer one out of the bunch. The no FG initials, but look at the grade, ladies and gentlemen. This is not a mid-state coin. It has passed through many hands. It has circulated quite a bit, and it shows. It has general wear. It's got a few scratches here and there, and that's, you know, that's par for the course for something that's been around a block a few times. AU58 by PCGS. So you're probably going to say, well, Sean, this thing probably sold for like 50 bucks, right? You know, because it's just a 72D copper nickel clad Kennedy. No, not so fast. How about $450? $458.99 to be exact, because you always have to add shipping. And if there's taxes, you're in a state that charges sales tax, they're going to add that in there too. So, you know, the cost just continues to go up. But this is, again, a much tougher date to find with the no FG initials on the reverse. This one sold by Estate Treasures 5. We've talked about them before on previous PCMR graded videos. So don't overlook these. Certainly pull them out. There's bound to be a mid-state, you know, example out there that's like a mid-state 63 that you could grade. That would probably be worth double what this one is. Do not, and I mean do not, attempt to sell coins and say they're graded when they're really not. Now, this is an impressive coin. This is one of my favorites. This is the American Samoa Strikethrough on the face bat quarter. All right, this thing was the talk of the town 2 years ago, and it still is. It's a very, very pursued coin, error-wise. These things sell for many hundreds of dollars. This one, no exception. The only knock is that the seller mentioned that it is PCGS graded mid-state 64, when you could clearly see in the images it's not in a graded holder. So what in the world are they smoking when they're selling this? Again, you could really get yourself in trouble by selling something like this, saying that it's graded. The buyer receives the coin and says, well, it's not in a graded holder, therefore I'm going to return it. But, you know, what if the seller spent the money already? Then you're going to be, you know, in hock trying to get the money back to accept this return. Now, on a serious note, this is one of those errors that raw is worth $250. But if you're going to do the graded game, make sure it's graded and don't lie about it. I'm surprised this one even made it through eBay's sniffer test. Normally they would pick out stuff like this and 86 the listing altogether. It wasn't so here. Someone actually picked it up for $250 is what it was. So final PCGS coin, I believe. This one right here. Yes. This is an undated Roosevelt Dime. And the front of the coin was struck through actually cloth. It could be a little, you know, a cloth to clean some of the equipment. Maybe, you know, it was inadvertently left near the striking chamber. It got sucked in or something. I don't know. It looks like there was a few fold marks in there. Looking at the patterning on the coin. This is really cool. All right. If you do find something like this, obviously you have struck gold. Maybe, you know, not 1 ounce of gold, but you've struck some gold here. This one is a mid-state 63. Obverse 100% struck through cloth, and it says it right there, transparent as all get out. No date, there's no readable date on this one, probably from the 70s if I had to guess. Value wise, well, they wanted $950. It did not sell for that, but it did sell for a very respectable $400 as a best offer on this one. Great looking coin. Again, one of my favorite strike-through events that you could find on any coin. And when you do come across it, you'll know it's a struck-through fabric or cloth because it has that unique pattern on there. So, yeah, pretty cool. Grade this all day long. All right, now we're on to NGC Coins, and there's no better coin to kick it off other than the coin that I proclaimed would hit $1,000 someday. At the time, things looked bleak because there were a number of these that were found a few months ago, and then as time went on, it's like, well, it got up to, what, $850, you know, for the double-sided Wilma Mankiller retained die break. Okay, you got the die break on the obverse right here, and on the reverse, you got this really ridiculous crack that goes through, I would say, 60-70% of the coin. But yeah, this is the impressive one. This is the one to look out for. It's the most valuable. These things, again, got as high as $850 at one point. But someone actually had the cojones to send this one out to NGC, and it was a wise move. All right, this one ended up as a mid-state 65. Man, what a beautiful coin to have in a holder. Obverse and reverse retained die break on there. Boom, $1,200. So not only did it beat $1,000, it smashed it with a vengeance. So there you go. I got my wish, and I don't feel like a dope anymore. You guys see the big stuff right here with this one. Just an impressive coin. So if they're selling raw currently for between $600 and $800, again, there's no harm in sending this off to NGC. Go ahead and get it done. If it comes back a really nice grade like a 64, 65, or 66, enjoy the cash because you will be making some here. Another good one right here too. I found probably a good dozen of these during my time searching through Lincoln wheat cent bags, but this is a 1928S. Not a common date by any means, but this has, again, another notable cherry picker's guide variety. This is the large S variant. It is also the FS501 for variety attribution. There you go. So 1928S, large S, mid-state 63, red, brown through NGC. This particular coin ended up at $450. This one sold, I believe, like a day ago or somewhere around there. This is a very recent sale. But again, another big cherry picker's guide variety that you shouldn't feel gun shy about sending to a grader. This one worked out perfectly. Yeah, good luck explaining this one to someone when you're trying to sell it raw, right? It's not going to happen. This thing looks damaged to some people, but error folks that know their stuff, they'll know exactly what we have here. Would you believe this Lincoln cent was struck 5 times? Yes, 5 times. Pretty miraculous. It's kind of hard to fathom, but you can tell it's in an NGC holder. As a mid-state 66 red. Wow, that's a pretty nice grade. Now, judging from the overall look of the label design and all that, this is an old grading, probably from like 2005 era, somewhere around there. When they didn't have the prongs for holding the coin in place. So yeah, I mean, this thing is off the chain. This is a really nice coin. Another best offer on this one, this time for $395. No, this one was $505. I'm sorry, that's another coin. That's actually our next coin, so you guys got a little spoiler on that. $505 was the sale price. Best offer of $500 plus shipping. All right. And yeah, this is the one that sold for $395. This time a 1973 D Washington quarter that was struck on a nickel planchet, so a 5-cent planchet. This one is a mid-state 65 by NGC. You can see it's 5 grams, which is in line with the actual weight of a nickel planchet. So everything looks good here. Denver minted coin here, ladies and gentlemen. So we've seen a fair share of both Philadelphia and Denver minted errors on the list. This one, $395. So good job. Again, another Star 505 sale here. So we got a few of them from that seller. Oh, man, I wish I would have saved my example of this coin. This thing has shot up in value so much. This is a 1943 Lincoln Steely. It's a Philadelphia minted piece. It is the doubled die obverse. So like that 44D we saw earlier, it's got the fat bottom tail of the 9. This one is that same similar one. FS 101, so it is in the Cherry Picker's Guide. This one is a mid-state 66 example. Beautiful. $1,850. Although this is not the most expensive variety for the Steel Cent series. That accolade can go actually to the 1943 D over D RPM. My goodness, that coin in mid-state 66 is worth probably 2x of what this one sells for. And I sold that one as well about 8 years ago in tandem with the 43 DDO. I'm a dolt about it. I wish I would have sent it off. I would have done really well on it because they were both cherry mid-state examples, probably 66 and higher. But we're going to end it off on a really cool looking coin, a 1995 Lincoln Memorial Cent. This one was double struck, rotated in collar. My goodness, this is impressive. And, you know, you could find these on even the newer copper nickel, or the copper-coated zinc composition coins as well. This is what this one looks like. And, yeah, a great move sending this one to NGC. You can see the doubling of Lincoln's nose right here on the obverse, but a lot of the stronger stuff is on the reverse there. So this one is a mid-state 66 red. I mean, no doubt about it, you should send this one in to be graded. There should be no question about that. Ended up at $558.99 for its sale price by seller Collect Now. I believe first time that we've talked about one of their listings. So that is an impressive way to end off the show. I want to thank each and every single one of you for checking out the PCMR Graded Edition. I'm your host, Sean, with BlueRidgeSilverhound. Always a pleasure. Again, a really good mix of coins, all in which that I would have 100% graded because they are worth it. That's going to go ahead and wrap it up. You guys take care. I'll see you next time on a regular PCMR video. But yeah, keep on collecting. I'll see you guys soon.